Hello, my name is Bruce Elgort, and I will be your video instructor today for another video on tables. This is part 3. Hopefully you've watched part 1 and part 2 prior to watching this, and that you've read the chapter in your textbook on tables, as well as the associated Canvas module. In this video, we're going to talk about the col_span attribute for TD and TH cells. And before I tell you and show you, how to code these things, let's take a look at what we're trying to do. So on the screen here, you can see a table, and at the top of the table, you see a row, right? That first row that spans across all of the columns. So if you count, right? If you count the number of columns that are being spanned, right? How many are there? There's 1, 2, 3 columns, right? That are being spanned across. So that first row, and in the case of that table there, that's a TTH type cell, okay? A table heading, table header, whatever you want to call it. And that thing spans across all 3 columns. Okay, so what do we need to do? Let's bring up the code. And as you can see on the screen here, I have my code. I removed from the prior video the last row where we replicated this table row at the bottom. And what we need to do here is kind of simple, right? Well, maybe not simple, but let me go through it. So let's add a table row, okay, because we want it to go above columns 1, 2, and 3. And we want to make this a heading. And let me just put the heading in first, and I'll just say migrate table, because that's just some random text that I want to put in there. And let me show you. If I bring up the browser here, you can see that right now, by placing, right, within the first row, a single TH, it behaves exactly like we would expect, right? It's here on the left-hand side of the table. But we want this, this TH cell here, okay, to expand or span across all 3 columns. So let me show you what you need to do here. Okay, so we're going to add an attribute and an attribute value. Col_span equals, quote, 3. Okay, now this is the attribute, col_span, and the value is the number 3. And all values go in quotation marks. So if we go back to our browser and we refresh, bam, there it is. Now we have our column 1 spanning across all 3 columns. How about that? How about that? Okay, so again, we have a table row and a closing tr tag. And then we have a single th here with the attribute of col_span, and we told it to span across 3 columns. We put some text in there and our closing th tags. Okay, so just so you know, right? If I made this a TD, okay, and this a TD here, ready? Let's go and let's go back and let's refresh. What happened? What happened here? It's spanning across all 3 columns, but no longer is it centered or bold. That's because we changed from a TH cell to a TD, a plain old table data cell. Okay, do you see that? See how right here where my mouse is, on which I'm highlighting? Okay, there it is. It's still spanning across all 3. And some of you are asking, hey, what if you make it go across, span across 2 columns? What are you going to see? There it is. There's across 2 columns. And, hey, you may want your table to be formatted like that. You just may. Okay, so I'm just going to put it back here to 3 and refresh. And there it is. It's spanning across all 3 columns. Okay, so there you go. There's the col_span attribute. Have some fun with it. Play around with it. Do the examples in your textbook within the chapter on tables, and let your instructor know if you have any questions. And by the way, I need to change this up here to a 3 because this was part 3 of our video on tables.